Hello and welcome everybody. It's Rose Smith here from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. Thanks so much for joining me for the Caring Cancer October horoscope. Well, it's a really big month this month. There is a lot going on for everyone and it's a very scorpionic time. So it could be at times a bit emotional or intense, these sort of compelling feelings coming up from within that need to be dealt with, basically. We also have a solar eclipse on the 25th, bringing new beginnings, and this is also in Scorpio, so there's a lot happening in Scorpio this month. We have Mercury, Saturn and Pluto turning direct, so that will give us all a big push forward. We have Mars and Jupiter turning retrograde. Okay, that will slow us down in other areas of our lives perhaps. Okay, so just to briefly explain, I like to draw 2 tarot cards as theme cards for the month for you, and we'll have a look at your horoscope in depth. And if you're new, subscribe and be alive and hit that notification bell right now. Thank you very much, I appreciate that. Okay, let's go to the board. Okay, this is where it's all happening. Now, first I'm going to pick these 2 cards and see what happens. I like to close my eyes first. What do I see? I see some white roses here. There's a spiritual connection with somebody. However, just because there is this spiritual connection doesn't mean that it plays out in the physical realm exactly the way that you would like. There's a long way to go between what is spiritual and what is physical, and sometimes they don't actually meet, and so you just might have this spiritual connection. And you know, sometimes you just meet someone and you just have some sort of instant rapport with them because there is some sort of spiritual connection there. All right, let's have a look and see what card comes up for you, Caring Cancerians. Okay, the Emperor. Okay, this is an interesting card because some people like this type of energy. I'm not one, but this is basically someone who lays down the law, is into control, and in the worst cases, domination. The reason people like it is because it can be that they lay down the rules and you know what the rules are and it's cut and dried to you, and there's no grey areas or middle ground. You just know if you do this, this and this, then you're going to get that, that and that, you know, kind of thing. I'm not a fan, you know, I see life as more fluid than that. But yeah, some people like the stability of just knowing what the rules are. And if you're in receipt of Centrelink, if you're in Australia, or some sort of government payment, then there might be rules attached to that you have to follow. And you may well find on the collective in some countries there may be new rules coming, especially about money, but we'll see. Okay, so that's the first 2 weeks, or first half of the month if you like. Now let's have a look at the second half of the month. Just a sec, there's something else about this. And it's almost like, and I have to add an addendum, if you don't like the rules, then you can go and play in another domain or another area. And I say the word play because here you have so much going on in your 5th house. There's Jupiter, my dog, barking because a leaf fell off a tree or something like that. He's got a hair trigger, that dog. There's so much happening here in your 5th house of socialising and fun and play and being creative, that it might be time to think of a new creative pursuit in your life. Okay, so the second half of the month, closing my eyes now, what do I see? I'm seeing something, but oh, okay, it's the edge of a book. Okay, this is your life book. I feel like you're coming to the end of something in your life, like it's a cycle, and but this is weird because normally when that happens, then I see the pages turn and it turns on into a new chapter. It's like you're going to walk away from your life. Maybe you could go traveling or do something entirely different that is life changing. Okay, let's see what comes up very strange to see. It's almost like you close that life book and there's another life book, which doesn't normally happen. The card that comes up is the Wheel of Fortune. This is basically saying that, yes, whatever is going on in life, the universe is always turning, the universe is always growing, expanding, like in our lifetimes anyway, expanding, and new things are coming in around the corner. So we're not just stuck in one situation the whole of our lives. You know, that there's things always happening all of the time. Now, it's up to you whether you want to, you know, take the opportunity, but there is some sort of opportunity coming in the second half of October, more or less. You know, timing's very difficult, but, you know, it's good to have an idea. And maybe you'll find you have a lot more free time, or something happens so that you can avail yourself of new opportunities. It's actually exciting. I'm going to put that there and that one there, because I'm going to make this larger now so that you can see it better, because we're going to talk about your horoscope. Right. Okay, so a lot happening for you. The first thing I want to talk about is the start of the month. So this is the 1st of October or the 30th of September if you're in Australia and New Zealand. There are so many red lines. I haven't drawn them all in, but I think there's 11 or 12 squares and oppositions. There is a lot of challenges in October, I have to be honest with you. However, squares often bring some sort of confrontation or some sort of situation where you have to make, well, you don't have to, but you can make a decision to move forward in, you know, down another pathway. So it can be ultimately very, very beneficial for you. Yes, you might not like it when the challenges are actually going on, of course, and especially with so many. You know, it's a difficult time, a challenging time. But even with that, there's something good here that comes out of this. There's something beneficial that comes out of this. There's something that could make your heart sing. And you might find that what you've been doing is close to what you want to do, but maybe it's not exactly what you're meant to be doing, you know, what's in your life mission. And because I've seen the life book, it's like you're changing life books. So this is normally your mission that you come to the world with. And I've just never seen a life book change before like that. So despite whatever challenges there are on the 30th or the 1st, around the beginning of the month, then there's ultimately something really beneficial that comes out of it for you. This is only really for a few hours. This is called a Grand Cross, and it's only for a short time, because the moon is here and the moon will move, and then that part of the Grand Cross will fall apart, and we'll still have, we should still have a T-square here that will provide challenges between your career, what you're supposed to be doing spiritually, and also communications. Yeah, and there's also an opposition there between Mars and the moon, which is not easy either. But the moon will move, so things will get much easier. And the moon's your ruling planet. And I know if you're not into astrology, you'll say the moon's not a planet, but in astrology it is, okay? Just trust me on that point. Okay, so then we have, Mercury turning direct on the 3rd, Saturn and Pluto all direct as well, giving us a big push forward. The solar eclipse will be here in this big get-together in your 5th house of socialising, fun, entertainment, so you might be doing a lot more of that. Jupiter and Mars turning direct on the 28th and the 30th of the month, okay? And so Jupiter's here, but when it turns retrograde, things slow down in your career, and then it moves over here into your 9th house of travel and study, and maybe they become your more, important interests. Maybe you're thinking about those more. Okay, now to look at your horoscope in depth, from the 29th of September to the 4th of October, We have Mercury opposition Neptune. Mercury is retrograde. This is really not a good time to sign a contract or make an important decision, because you could be quite sort of confused or vague in your thinking, or it's fuzzy. But it is a great time for your imagination and to get in contact with how you feel. From the 5th to the 8th, Mercury trines Pluto, and Mercury is direct now. So you can get some really good information that is very insightful and very in-depth. You can get to the core of the issue. You might hear some very intimate details from other people. Of course, don't repeat those. But it is a good time for hearing secrets or finding stuff out at a deep level. The 8th to the 18th sees Mars squaring Neptune, which is really quite confusing. That's this line here, basically. It's, you don't know in your subconscious there's stuff coming up that you've got to deal with. And it's a good time to be gentle with yourself and not push yourself too much during this time. The 9th sees a hunter's full moon in Aries here, your 10th house, all about your career, or perhaps your reputation, or even a parent or an authority figure. Okay, so this authority figure here could be a parent, or it could be someone like Centrelink, as I was saying before. There could be, it's quite an emotional time probably, or even frustrating, so take a deep breath and try to remain calm. On the 10th, Mercury enters Libra here. In your 4th house, there's a lot to do with your home and family, and so a lot of communications and ideas coming up. Maybe there's some sort of rearrangement of things at home, or beautifying the home, because Venus is in there as well with the Sun. And there's more smooth and loving family relationships. Some lovely discussions are possible. From the 11th to the 22nd, Mars squares Mercury. Watch this one. You could be feeling a bit frustrated. Do watch for incidents and accidents, because Mars loves to push you forward. And because it's Mercury, this could be to do with your speaking, your communications. You just want to, really think. Put your brain in gear before you speak if you possibly can, because Mars will be pushing you to say stuff without thinking, okay? Impatience and irritability might be on the cards there. From the 17th to the 12th, Jupiter squares your ascendant, and Jupiter is retrograde from the 28th, so a lot of the energy is internalized. But this is really good, even if it's a square, which is normally difficult. With Jupiter, it just makes you more realistic, because Jupiter's normally quite overconfident and ebullient, and you might just be more realistic with this, and there could be an opportunity that comes from someone out of the blue. It's very promising. Just keep your feet on the ground, and you can make the best of that situation. The 23rd sees Venus entering Scorpio here, so it's moving from there to here. This is wonderful for your life generally. It's playful, it's smooth, it's pleasant, it's loving. It's a great time for romance. It's a great time for dealing with children, for being more creative, and leisure and pleasure. It might be on your mind, okay? So you probably have a really lovely time around that. 25th also sees the new moon in Scorpio as well here. It's bringing new beginnings. Again, around children, romance. You could have very deep and compelling feelings about someone. You could meet someone new who seems like a beautiful person, and you're living closer to the world of the child. Maybe you have more to do with children than usual. The 27th to the 20th of December, Jupiter is retrograde, and it's squaring your ruler, the moon, which means you probably want to stay home and have more to do with your home and your family. There could be a family get together, and I just get the sense of someone travelling from overseas to come home and spend some time with you, basically, if you've got an overseas child at the moment. So that will be good news. It's a wonderful time, and even it's like there's been some sort of feeling of distance with this person, and then that situation is solved, even if they don't come home. But it's a wonderful time. 28 sees Jupiter moving into Pisces, which is here in your 9th house, so things could go a bit quieter as far as travel or study are concerned. You might be thinking about lots of ways you can expand and grow, but you haven't done anything yet about it. It's probably not the right time just now, but it will be in the future. So this is more about thinking and planning. Perhaps there's some country you want to go to. There's bound to be, a lot of emotions that come up with this, but go with the flow, and your life stream will be enhanced and revitalized. It's like you could have been in a rut in some way, and think something happens, and then you have the opportunity to change the direction of your life. So it all works out for the best in the end. 29th of October sees Mercury entering Scorpio as well, adding more communications and ideas about your leisure and pleasure, your fun, your romance, and children. And then we have on the 30th Mars going retrograde. It's still here in your 12th house of the subconscious, the house of the goddess, and your energy might be affected. Like, you might not feel like doing much. That's okay. It's a time for reflection and a time for meditation. And if you put the time in now, looking within and seeing how you feel about different issues in your life, you'll find that it's probably not the best time to approach the world now. But if you put that time in later on, you can come out back into the world and things will go much better. So you probably just want to be quiet at the moment for a little while. Okay, so that's it. Everything turns, and despite, whatever restrictions you may feel from other people or from governments or whatever, everything turns and everything changes. So some of you could even leave the country that you live in and go and live in another country. Maybe you're thinking about that. Let me know if you are. I'm jealous. I would love to do that, but I don't have that opportunity at the moment. But yes, that's it, Caring Cancers. I hope this is helpful for you, and let me know how you feel. Leave a like or a comment. That would be fabulous, or share it on your socials. Thank you very much. And if you're new, subscribe and be alive and hit that notification bell right now. Okay, have a wonderful month, everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website, absolutesoulsecrets.com, for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.